Hello and welcome to the Crypto Conspiracy. This is your host, Lutz, with my co-host, Canada the Great, and we're here to educate you with old school values, old school crypto values. I've been here 15 plus years. A lot of people in Komodo have been here longer than me. These are the people you want to learn from. They're the ones that created Pirate Chain, right? They probably know something. So welcome. Welcome, guys. And this week's every week we go over a new conspiracy that I come up with, and it's to show you the angles that you're not seeing. So if we do what the government does and we create a conspiracy theory out of everything, maybe it'll work for us as well. So let's make everything a conspiracy theory. So this week's conspiracy theory is all about who's pulling the strings. Is AI going to take over the world? How many people are going to lose their job? Which AI is safe to use? Are there any safe to use? I don't think so. Maybe Hugging Bear. I think it's called, right? If you run it yourself locally, but no, it's all those AIs out there, and I know that they're all compromised. And you know this because they all work with the Google algorithm. You know SEO, and you've learned search engine optimization skills somewhere. You know that today is a whole new all new rules for AI, right? But if it was extremely private, it wouldn't have any difference on the Google algorithm. So that's how you know it's not Grok, all the ones that come with the meta from the platforms, right? All those that come with your social medias are really bad. Don't use those. Yeah, so that's what it is, guys. AI will be used to control us in numerous ways, leveraging its ability to process vast amounts of data, making predictions, influencing human behavior. That's what it could do. There's a lot of ways it could do that. So let's go over some ways. How, and we can go. Have come up with some examples for each one. Okay, guys, you can participate. Just unmute your mic whenever you want, and let's think about how is it going to control you. At the moment, we got issues with surveillance and data collection, right? They're trying to collect so much data from you, and then what do? They go sell it. They make a lot of money off of it. You never see a dime of it. You still got to pay for that service that's spying on you, right? That's the way the world is at the moment. Everything. It's beyond. If you don't know, then you need to know. Even your video games, the video games your kids are using, connected. They're taking statistics of all those kids gaming because it's no longer a Nintendo cartridge that you got to blow on, get it to work inside of a Nintendo. That's a locally run game, right? The games these days they're not locally run; they're run remotely. You cannot play some of these games unless you're online. That's how you know. If you have to be online to an internet service provider that you have to pay, you are a slave. You are enslaving yourself further by not locally owning your stuff. They have convinced the world to not locally own anything anymore. Everything you have from your phone, communications, right? You got to start looking at owning everything, right? That's what like Komodo's decks, right? They're exchange. Komodo's exchange. When you have it, you own it. It's on your computer. Your coins are on your computer. Nobody else has access to that, unlike the sexes, right? That's why we have the end of sex revolution going on right now, right? Because we're sick and tired of exchanges going down and taking our money. We're sick and tired of the extortion of exchanges saying, oh, you need to have, $100,000 or else we're going to kick you off. You don't have enough volume. And that's just an excuse, of course. We have to get past that, and the only way to get past that is by using Komodo's technology and actually getting everybody to use it. All coins, not people, not just people, but the coins themselves. Firo already got it added, right? I think there's a cheetah decks out there. There's a couple other forks out there. Get all the coins to fork it so that all the liquidity could be shared amongst all the chains in the realm, and it's decentralized. Nobody could stop that. Right? So the AI powered surveillance systems can monitor individuals. When your kid if your kid has a laptop, number one, you better be covering the camera. Get a little sticker and cover the camera. Don't let that camera be open all the time. Manually close it with a sticker. Okay, don't even look at the settings. You put a sticker over the damn thing, and when you want to use it, unpeel the sticker. Okay. If your TV has a camera, do the same thing. All right. I think X. I don't play video games, but if your Xbox or your gaming consoles, those two, do something to cover it. Right. It does not need to be open. Right. Facial recognition is a big deal. Right. Now we have to worry about that. Well, we did before, but now it's even easier with AI. Like social media monitor. There's these devices that you guys buy, like the smartwatch that you're wearing, that monitors your heartbeat and it tells Apple every time you have sex, right? Those devices, they all contribute to the pervasive surveillance. Okay? So start looking at your devices. Start looking at the terms of service. If it has the terms of service, it's most likely bad, but not everybody could go open source and, could build Linux from scratch and such. So, you got to start fighting this corruption, right? This is corruption. They're corrupting your life. So it's corruption. They're corrupting your vitality. They're corrupt. They're corrupting your behavior, right? Behavior manipulation. Can AI mess with your behavior? Can it do that? Can it analyze your user data to understand preferences, vulnerabilities, decision-making patterns? Can it do that? Information that could be used to tailor content, advertisements, and notifications. Sound familiar? You don't think that could manipulate your emotions and behaviors without your awareness sometimes? Without you even knowing, guys.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, they're doing it. You don't even know they're doing it. And they could keep putting posts in front of you that'll make you angry. They could find but like a smart test, back in the day, the new tests were smart tests, for the computer world, CCNA, all those back in my day, there were tests, and then they came out with smart tests where when it detected that you didn't know something, it would ask you more questions on what you did not know. Right? It's a smart test. The tests are harder to take.
Hey,
Or
Captain.
yep,
We all know that the new laptops that are coming out have personalized AIs. And let me ask you a question. Do you believe that the data and the learning that the AI does on each of these new laptops are going to be kept private, or do you think it's connected to the mother AI and it's to feed it?
yeah, it goes straight up. It's a hierarchy, though. It's going straight to Gov and
So
all the people that control it above.
So what they're doing with the new AI slash laptops is they're gathering up truly private shit, man.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah, we know.
That's intrusive.
Yeah.
That
I
right
mean,
there is intrusive.
if people don't know out there, it's every time you post, even when you post a picture on Facebook, it's not your picture anymore. You got to stop doing stupid things like that. You're just giving your life away. You're just giving it away.
They said Palantir has all the dick pics.
Yeah, well, yeah, they do. They, even if you don't know it, you got that laptop open and there's that little camera right there, and you're rubbing one out, right? Nah, man, they can see everything. They probably got billions of big pics.
They got all of
The CIA
them.
can see you
Weirdos.
masturbating. You see that meme? There's a meme. The CIA can see you masturbating. So, but
Ugh.
it's true. They can, man. I believe it. They could get into any Windows machine. They could get into. I mean, Linux. I think at this point is also easy for them, unless you
Compromise.
you harden it, right? Yes. So you got to think that what they're doing is it's called predictive policing, right? They're predictive policing the social media. And law enforcement agencies use AI to predict crime hotspots and identify potential offenders. This can lead to targeted policing and preemptive control of individuals deemed likely to commit crime, often based on biased data and algorithms. Economic control. Economic control, guys. Yes, AI will control the economy in more ways than one, right? It'll all your warehouses will be AI controlled. It won't even need people anymore. It'll be controlling assembly line and putting things in bins and automatically shipping, right? And that's happening already. But AI will eliminate the people behind those machines, making those decisions because there won't be any decision. The AI will make the decisions even better. So the only fallback I see is if it ever goes down, they're going to leave those people again. But with backup models in place, I think it'll be fine. So yeah, algorithms can set prices, offer personalized deals, and even deny services based on predictive behavior or risk assessment. Sorry, you've given your kid too much milk this week. we're gonna have to limit you to 1 gallon. Sorry, you have purchased too much toothpaste. You cannot, it will get to that point, guys, where you've taken too much butter this week, right? We need to limit the amount of butter you buy, right? I mean, obviously they're making the fake butter, so that's what they want you to buy. So that they're gonna stop you from buying the real butter, so that Bill Gates could sell you his crap. And they're making copies of food all over the place. It's happening right now. The meat, everything is questionable. Everything is questionable. The only way to buy real good food is go to your local farm. The Amish farms are really good. You
Yes.
can't trust anything in the supermarket. Nothing. They don't have your health at heart. Their bottom line is their main goal. They don't care how they do it. If they find something cheaper than aspartame one day, they will use it. They don't care how it affects your neurological system, right? They'll do it because they don't care about you, right? They're not nonna. They're not your nana making you a soup, Campbell's soup got all kinds of crap in it. And
Mm-hmm.
go look at the ingredients. Somehow they convinced the world that calorie counting is more important than ingredient count.
Wow.
Why is there so many ingredients in my soup? It's water, carrots, celery. That's all I should see in there. Why does all this other crap? Sodium, monoglutamate, blah blah blah. You got to start questioning, guys. This is not real food anymore. What you're
Hey,
eating is not
Captain.
real.
Hey, Captain. You know why they're able to do that with the food? Because they have it centralized.
Yeah, we're all
Same way they're
idiots.
able to do it. Same way they're able to do it with the finances, government, schools, health, everything. It's all centralized. And here it boils down to this: do you want the jackasses that have been in control the past 10 years to keep being in control? And do you want to follow them? Do you think that they have our best interests in heart? After seeing everything that we have seen the past 10 years, do you really believe that a centralized anything with them crazy insane, I call them pedophiles, a lot of people call them lizards, I don't want nothing to do with them. I don't want nothing to do with those people. I don't trust them. I don't want nothing centralized no more. And if we're going to win this, we're going to have to get in our minds and our hearts that, hey, centralized anything harms us, because everything that we were born under, all the systems that we were born under, guys, are centralized. All the bad shit in this world, all the bad problems that we can never seem to get fixed, is because they have it set up centralized.
Right.
It
And
all goes into one small group, and there's only one small group of people making the decisions. And be damned what we think, and be damned what we want. It's what they say, and we don't even know who they are.
are.
We can't get no information out of them. So
Well,
Lord help us.
let's not talk about centralization. Let's talk about decentralization, right? So a lot of people have and I explain this a
Yeah.
lot, and I'm going to keep explaining it to people so that they understand. All right, when you decentralize something, doesn't necessarily mean you're doing a good thing, okay? Because you could be centralizing something tyrannical, something that'll enslave you, and if you decentralize something like that, then you're making that harder to take down. Because what decentralization does is give whatever you give it to fault tolerance. Makes it harder to take that variable thing down that you're trying to decentralize. And so if
And
you're
it
gonna
and it
decent
ex- and it exposes us, Captain. It exposes us to manipulation, to where we can be taken advantage of if we have a centralized system. A decentralized system, we keep our sovereignty. I wish I could explain it better, but
only if it gives you power, right? So something like Pirate Chain or Komodo's Exchange, locally run, something like that can give you power. Then yeah, you want to decentralize that thing so that no government or any bankers can come and take that down. Right? There's no way they can take that down. That's something you want to do, right? But if you're trying to decentralize Ripple, a coin that works with the banks and promotes them, and what they do, that would probably be the wrong way to go. That would probably be bad, right? Because when you find yourself wondering how this happened, I'm telling you right now how it's gonna happen. You gotta listen to me. I'm always ahead of my time. This is how it's gonna happen, right? You're enslaving yourself with the thoughts of wealth, right? You're gonna get rich off of Bitcoin, blah blah blah. And you're gonna get rich off of this other crap coin, fart coin, Trump No, no. What are you gonna do in 20 years when your kid looks up at you and says, "Dad, why'd you do this?" I thought I was making money, son. I didn't know, right? I didn't know that 20 years later, even the money that I made would be worth nothing. You got to think about that. And why would you do that to your children? Why would you put them in a system where they have no choice? They in their lives, you're giving them a life with no choice. But let's move on, guys. That's a sorry for the tangent. So
Boils
emotional
down to
psych.
I was saying decentralization. It boils down to transfer of control. That's where it all boils down to. That's it. That's in the definition of decentralization: the transfer of control of an activity or organization to several local offices or authorities rather than one single one. So the opposite of decentralization would be centralization, and it goes to one single entity, and that's the problem right there, Captain. I see.
Well, us
We need
pirates,
to
we're not.
change that.
Us pirates ain't gonna wait for no train, nobody to give it to us, right? We're not waiting for that. We're gonna take it. But this is how we take it.
We have to.
We take it with technology, open source technology that gives people their power back.
Amen.
And in this world of internet now, I mean, you thought it was confusing before with cookies. Like, could you imagine explaining people about cookies? Like, that's something when I started. Like, it's even worse now. You can't. There's no way you're gonna protect your privacy online, right? So you have to take cemented control. You have to really own the privacy. Okay, it has to be 100% private. That's what I'm telling you. It has to be, right? There can't be any room for false, for somebody to get in. There's no room for that, right? When you set up your router in your home with your internet, what do? Right? You filter by MAC address so that you know that only your kid's computer and maybe your wife's phone and maybe your computer is on the network, and no other device can enter the network, right? That's the security, the type of security that I like on my network. I'm not sitting there messing around with passwords and guests. No, no guests on this network. I allow you in or you don't come in and end the story, right? And that's what pirate does. That's how pirate works, right? Nobody can see what
Or
you got. Nobody could look in your wallet. Nobody could tell you where you went shopping this week by looking up your wallet transactions. Nobody could do that on pirate. They have to ask you first. Gives you full control. Right? Same with Komodo. Komodo allows you to trade coins. It gives a marketplace for pirates. There's a marketplace for all pirate privacy coins, and that's the direction it's going. And as long as it's going in that direction, I'll be here. Right? Uh, but let's get back to how AI is going to take over the world, guys. Okay, so AI, a lot of you guys, I mentioned wearable devices a little earlier. How they can control your heartbeat. They monitor your heartbeat, your blood pressure, who knows what else. Uh, your snoring, right? And all these
your
patterns are
steps,
yeah, yeah, and all these
how
all
many
these
steps you take.
all these are getting sold. This is data. This is all data, and it's valuable data to certain people, especially advertisers. And so all those devices are spying on you. Wearable devices and health apps, the applications that you use on your phone, those health applications or diet applications, but they used to monitor vital signs, sleep patterns, other health metrics. This data can be used to nudge individuals towards certain behaviors. They can encourage you to use specific products or services. After it's called in marketing, it's called the rule of seven. Look it up. They can control access to healthcare, right? They already do. They already do. And so,
My
they,
my psychiatrist about 2 years ago was like, yeah, we want you to wear this device that sends us 24/7 data monitoring about your health. I'm like, fuck, like you guys deserve to be in an asylum, man. Like, what do you think I'm going to give up that information for free? Like, so the insurance companies can have that. So data analytics companies can have
yeah,
everything about every kind of health, how my sleep patterns, my wake patterns, when I go to the bathroom, all that stuff. Like I'm gonna give that up for free, and people willingly do this. And I was like, no, you guys, that is not happening. Like, There's no way in hell that's going to happen.
That's right. And data is not just about being sold, but it's also about these corporations covering their ass, right? If you ever worked for a corporation, you know that when a customer calls in, no matter what the system or job, you have to put in detail in that ticket what's going on, right? So that if that customer turns on you, you have your protection right there. Like they're gonna say, oh, I didn't have these health issues. Oh well, sir, you know, we sent you home 2 years ago with this snoring device, and apparently you were having the same issue back then, right? They could see it, they could use that data that you didn't think they would use against you for that reason. They can use that for that reason. You get it? Like it's all about them covering their ass, whether it's true or not. They will use it against you. So their word is always more important than yours with their
It's
proof.
about enslaving us. It's about turning us into 100% complete total slaves.
You don't give them
Those
any
people are
data,
crazy.
right? Just like when the police pull you over, you don't talk to the cops. That's like a rule in Brooklyn. You don't talk to the cops. You don't talk to them, right? End the story. You don't start telling them things they don't need to know, right? Because that will be used against you later. Get it? If he's upset at you and curses at you, right? You don't get angry. You stay calm, right? And you record that shit, right? You don't yell back because then he'll just put in his notes. He was being abhorrent. He was yelling. He was out of control, and that's why he had a curse at you, right? When and that it's your story against theirs all the time. So never give more data than you have. But let's get back to education and information control. AI can personalize educational content, which is good, and informational feeds. So I do like that, but there's another problem, right? Who's creating the content and what are they gearing it towards, right? Are you going to turn this whole generation into fruitcakes with this curriculum, this AI curriculum? You don't know. You don't know who created. Uh, so it can create echo chambers and reinforcing specific ideologies. By controlling the flow of information, AI can shape public opinions and limit exposure to diverse viewpoints, right? Which is what we see now on all social media, basically. Um, Anybody talking the truth, is just suppressed. As you see all these influencers, you know, pushing Zcash you know, and Bitcoin and all these other coins that they want you to see, while they suppress things like pirate, where we get no numbers at all, for some odd reason, right? But you could pay to promote it, sure. All right, so excuse me. Uh, I think we almost got through it. Oh, workplace control, guys. AI systems can monitor employee productivity, behavior, and communication, leading to micromanagement and the optimization of labor for maximum efficiency. This can result in increased stress, burnout, and the loss of autonomy for workers. And so, I don't know if you guys ever worked for a corporation, but if they give you a VPN to work on, you, you make sure that that is on a whole different subnet on your local network. You don't give them access to your home network. But that is effectively what you're doing when a company allows you to work from home and they give you a VPN to jump on. Somebody like me could look at your whole network and start, maybe looking at the computers, checking out the MAC addresses, seeing if I could get in there, right? So that's that's something to think about. Government and policy control. Government and policy control. AI can be used to automate decision-making processes in government. That might not be a bad idea. From policy creation to resource allocation, this can lead to the implementation of policies that prioritize efficiency and control over individual rights and freedoms. And we do see that happening already. That's nothing new there. Social credit systems. AI powered social credit systems, as seen in some countries, can rate individuals based on their behavior, influencing their access to services, employment, and social opportunities. This creates a form of social control where compliance with desired behaviors is rewarded. Right? So they reward you for being a good little boy, and deviation is punished. So, and if you try to think for yourself, God forbid, you know, that's not possible. It's not possible. But those people that do think for themselves always do better in life. If they tell those people why they're better, their ideas are better, and then they go do it. Or there are people out there that have great ideas and never do it and stay a slave. But that's your choice. So by leveraging these methods, AI has the potential to create a highly controlled society where individuals' autonomy is eroded in favor of systemic efficiency and predictability. As AI continues to advance, it is crucial to establish robust ethical guidelines and regulatory frameworks to ensure that its use remains beneficial, respectful to human rights and freedoms. Well, I may not agree with that last line 100%. Uh, if you're going to run an AI, run your own private AI locally, and that's the way to do it. Right? So that you own your AI, right? That AI that you're having romantic conversations with is yours. Nobody else could see it. Nobody has strings. No one's pulling the strings in the back of that AI, being able to look at your conversations, which is the case with most of these, all of it. I think Hugging Face is one of the better ones. I haven't looked into it recently. I got some examples for you guys. Surveillance and data collection. Okay, China's social credit system uses AI to analyze data from CCTV cameras, social media, and financial transactions to assign citizens to a social score, influencing their access to services and opportunities. Right. So if Twitter gets really popular one day, they're going to be the ones dictating how your life is going to be run. It's already happening in China. It's not hard to believe. 10 years ago, if somebody told you this, you probably would have said, "Get the hell out of here! You're crazy." And that'll never happen, right? But it's happening, guys. It's happening. Uh, it's already happening now because when you go in for a job, human resources look into all your social media to see what type of person you are. You see, so it's happening right now. They're already scoring you. Now it'll just have a number next to it. Stop putting your data in the public view. Stop giving your data to other people. Once you put it on those platforms, it's not yours anymore. The behavioral manipulation, right? That was number two that we spoke about. Here's an example. The Chicago Police Department uses an AI system called stratified policing to predict and map crime hotspots, leading to increased patrols and arrests in targeted areas, often disproportionately affecting minority communities. So whether the AI is wrong or right, at that point it won't matter. It won't matter your circumstance. It won't matter where you are in life. It won't matter what you're trying to do at that moment in time. Right? It won't matter. They're gonna come after you. And when the police are actually robots one day, yeah, they won't even listen to you. So economic control was number four. Example: Amazon uses AI to dynamically price products based on demand, competitor pricing, and user behavior, creating a system where prices can fluctuate in real time to maximize profits. And if you haven't seen this yet, guys, it is there. Go buy something that says there's only one left. Then you buy it, and all of a sudden there's four left, and the price is higher. Swear to God, I saw it happen. Uh, Number five, emotional and psychological control. Example, replica. An AI chatbot forms emotional bonds with users by mimicking human conversation and providing constant companionship, potentially influencing users' emotional states, and decision making. Okay, so a lot of us may not be affected by this. A lot of people with weaker minds can. Uh, More importantly, this will be bad for children, right? Because their minds are easily tempered. Okay? So yes, keep AI away from your children, right? Because it can influence them and how they think. If you ever speak to an AI, you can see it'll agree with you. It'll tell you things you like, but it's not necessarily right all the time with technology or conversation. And then a lot of times you'll see that it'll protect. Like you'll say, oh, what's the reason for putting fluoride in my water, right? Oh, it's good for your teeth. Well, then why am I drinking it? Oh well, the FDA says that blah 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 blah, and a little bit is okay, a little poison is okay. It actually protects them. You see what I'm saying? When we all know a little bit of poison is still fucking poison. That's still poison. Right? Nobody wants any poison in their body. End of story. I don't care what company out there needs to sell their fluoride. Fluoride's a byproduct of mined metals, guys. They have to get rid of it. There's a proper way to get rid of it, and then there's the other way to get rid of it. Just sell it to you. It's very expensive to get rid of the proper way. You know. But hey, why do we got to do that? We just sell it. We tell people it's good for their teeth, and people drink it. They brush their teeth. They drink it in their mouthwash. They when they go to the dentist, the dentist gives them some fluoride treatments. It never ends, guys. You understand? It never ends. You got to be wary of what's going on around you. Right? These
Yet the
people are making.
toothpaste says don't swallow that has the fluoride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it used to say contact the poison control center if you swallow a pea size. I mean, everybody swallows. I used to take the tube and like put it into my mouth when I was a kid.
No. Well,
The bubblegum flavor.
you're talking about the systematically dumbing down of society, and you got to ask yourself, is that true? Because it is true, and a lot of people need to wrap their heads around it so we can fix it. Because again, I don't like to repeat myself, but the way that they've been able to do all these harms to us is because they have centralized systems.
You gotta stop trusting everybody, right? You got to stop trusting doctors. They're just people. You got to, you know, if I were you, I'd go to 10 doctors and start making it a numbers game. Which one sounds more right than the other? Uh, because that's
Captain,
really what you got to do.
Captain, they sell baby distilled water with added
I
fluoride
know,
just for the
I know,
babies, man. That's how bad
I know,
that's how bad it is up there. That's the problem.
I
Can't
know.
comprehend what's really being done there.
And all the water you buy in plastic bottles, they already have fluoride in it too. They did tests on them. Poland Spring, all of them, they all got fluoride in it. But the worst thing
Hey,
about
do you
those
think there's
plastic,
fluor?
the worst thing
Hey,
about
do you think
water
this? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The worst thing about water in plastic bottles, guys, is that water naturally leaches anything it touches. So it'll taste like that thing if it touches it for too long. It's just the nature of water, right? When you put distilled water, which is pure H2O, which is what you should be drinking, when you put that in something like plastic, it will in an hour, all of it will taste like the water will taste like it'll absorb the properties of the plastic, and there will be plastic in that water because it leaches it, right? So, how do we solve that, guys? How do we solve that? Hey, you know what? I'm going to sell you mineral water. Yes, that's the ticket. This is mineral water. It's good for you, right? No, the minerals are in there, guys, so that the water does not leach the plastic, because God knows how long that water will be in that plastic bottle. You get it? Nothing is for you. Nothing is good for you. Start doing some goddamn research, people. Anyway, that's my tangent. Let's get back to the numbers here. We got only a few more minutes left. I'm going to try to run through this real quick, okay? Emo- oh, wait, we did that one. Okay, health and wellness control, guys. Example number six. They could the Fitbit. Remember those things? I remember the company trying to get me to wear one. I was telling them to go shove it. Fitbit and other wearable devices use AI to track health data and provide personalized recommendations, which can influence users to adopt specific health behaviors or purchase related products. Right? So more influence there with AI, guys. Education and information control. Google search algorithm uses AI to personalize search results based on user behavior and preferences, creating echo chambers that limit exposure to diverse viewpoints and reinforce existing beliefs. It's one of the reasons why I don't like SEO anymore, guys. It's it's all a big game. It's an algorithmic game. And if you got enough money, you could pay your way to the top, or you could work on your SEO for years and years, and then all of a sudden Google will change some rules, and then you got to work on it again. It doesn't sound like a perfect system to me. It sounds like a system that somebody keeps changing the rules to make it fit what they want it to, not what you want it to. Education and information control. Oh, we did that. Workplace control, guys. That was number eight. Amazon's warehouse use AI to monitor worker productivity in real time, setting performance targets and optimizing labor to maximize efficiency, often leading to high levels of stress and burnout. If you and that's imagine being monitored like 24/7. I mean, I already know I was under a camera for like 6 years when I was working in the wholesale pharmaceuticals. So yeah, it's really bad knowing that even when you're working, these companies are remoting into your screen and watching what you're doing. You don't know they are, but they could do that. They know where you are all the time. When you activate that VPN, they can tell where you are. So you can't even you can't even say you're somewhere and be somewhere else, working remotely, if you don't want them to know where you are, right? And if working remotely, there's no need for them. That's kind of the whole point of the job. Government and policy control. Examples: the UK's use of AI in benefit assessment, where algorithms analyze claimant data to determine eligibility. This can lead to incorrect decisions and the denial of benefits affecting vulnerable individuals. Yeah, and all those jobs are going to be gone, by the way. All those people doing that right now, gone. Uh, and remember, this is not a blockchain making decisions where it's always going to be exact. This is an AI making these decisions. And there's somebody behind those AIs pulling those strings, telling that AI how to act. Right? Because you have to train an AI before you use it. Who is training it? Okay. These examples illustrate how AI can be integrated into various aspects of society to exert control over individuals and populations, often with significant consequences for privacy, autonomy, and human rights. Number 10 was the social credit system. Sesame, Sesame Credit in China uses AI to rate citizens based on their financial history, social behavior, and online activity, influencing their access to loans, travel, and even dating opportunities. Uh, so I guess they get on a dating app, and the chick is like, "Yo, you're broke." Oh man, they don't even got to ask how much money you got. I remember, before I got married, this I went on a date with this chick, and we're at the dinner table, pretty damn expensive meal. And she looks at me and she says, "How much money do you got in the bank?" And I looked at her like, "Are you joking me or what? Like I'm here for the poontang. What are you here for?" And so as soon as she said that, I slapped $100 bill on the table. I was like, "Yeah, I'm out of here. It was nice to meet you." And I left her there with the food. Uh, I thought it was a funny story. So yeah, social behavior, guys. Loans. Whatever you say online will affect you getting a loan. Will will not allow you to travel if you don't meet that certain social credit score. I mean, it's but back in the day, I mean, I don't know if you guys watch cowboy movies, but you could just jump on a horse and go wherever the hell you want, right? On dirt roads. And so at this point, society is like a circuit board. You got all these bus lines, and every line is controlled, by the software that's or the hard not it's not software, it's firmware. Controlled by the firmware, which is like the government controlling us. That firmware is bad. We need an update. We need some new firmware in this government. Anyway, that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. There's some research in there. I'll be posting this show up uh, sometime this weekend. If you missed it, so that's okay. And feel free to always come in and participate, guys. This is a place where we could talk truth. We could talk about privacy points. We could talk about privacy technologies like Reticulum. So this is a very neutral place. This is not Pirate. This is not Monero. This is not whatever other coins are out there. Uh, this is Komodo exchange, right? So all coins could come here and find a home here. We could all talk to each other like human beings, right? Even though I know that my coin is better than yours, and you know that your coin is better than mine in your head, right? So, but that's okay, right? Because we could talk about that we can, on a human level. You can tell me why, and I can tell you why, and we could have our own opinions and still be friends. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, we should
So,
add court to Komodo.
uh, they could do that. It's open source. They can do that whenever they want. All right, guys. Any questions? We're gonna start the town hall meeting here in a minute, guys, with a special guest. Another special interview this week. Uh, I believe it is Dash, and I never mind Dash before, but I'm not even sure if is it mineable. I think yeah, it is mineable. It's the X11, I think, if I remember right. Uh, it's an old coin. It's one of the oldest coins in crypto. So it's definitely something to participate in and definitely get the knowledge. If somebody's going to come up here from Dash in a half an hour, and they're going to tell us all about Dashcoin. I suggest you guys listen because it's a really old coin. So the only way you don't repeat history is by learning it. All right, guys, this is Lutz signing out. Love you all. See you next week.